It's Monday, so welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast. This is the place to learn about careers from the people who are actually doing the work every day. I'm your host, Brian Brott, and my guest today is Tre Switzer, a 2017 Van Buren graduate who is the Assistant Superintendent of the Buffalo Ridge Springs Golf Course in Branson, Missouri. Tre shares how a typical day looks as an Assistant Superintendent, how he decided to earn a turfgrass degree from ATI in Wooster, what the most rewarding aspects of his career are, and much more. Whether you are interested in a turfgrass career or are still exploring your options, I hope that what Tre shares today will help all of you make better career decisions and have fulfilling career journeys. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Joust About Careers podcast. And today we have 2017 Van Buren graduate Tre Switzer with us. And he's going to be talking about his career as an assistant superintendent at Buffalo Ridge Springs Golf Course out in Missouri and how he ended up where he is today. So Tre, thank you very much for joining me. And I'd love to just start out by learning, what does a typical day look like for an assistant superintendent at a golf course?
So basically, what my day to day is, I do a lot of moisture management for our soil, checking to see where we are water levels wise when it comes to, and what we're doing at night even, but just where we are to get us through the day and keeping an eye on that. And then just running the crew of guys, whether we got guys out there mowing, weed eating, raking bunkers, cleaning up sticks, leaves, just keep guys moving, watch the work they do, and make sure their details are all dialed in and where we want them.
Okay. So summer versus winter. Now, you were just telling me that out in Missouri, it's been in the 60s here for a little bit. Do you have the course open year round, or because winter is so unpredictable, do you close? How does that work?
So here, right now we are at my course, we are closed because we got some construction going on with a new irrigation installation going on with new sprinkler system and all that. But we have stayed open in previous winters, and so we're all we have several courses here that are owned by the same resort. That's Big Cedar Lodge, and we'll close a few of the courses for the winter and keep a couple of them open, and then try to be open as long as the weather cooperates with us and stuff like that.
Okay. You talked about having a staff of people that are working under you. How many people is that you have to make sure are taking care of the course?
Yeah. So in the winter months, we cut our staff pretty small to where, we might have, I think, 7 or 8 guys right now. And then we'll be 20, 21 guys come summertime. We use the H-2B visa program to get in some workers, mainly from Mexico, but we've had some in the past from Jamaica and New Zealand just this past season, actually.
Okay. That's interesting. I have to assume that there is a superintendent since you are the assistant. How is your job different from the superintendent's?
So he deals a lot more with, he's got a lot of more computer work to do than I would typically. Kind of what I do for him is just, he has that final product and that he wants. And so I just try to kind of make that flow. I'm kind of out there, his eyes a lot of the times, and just take some of the workload off of him when it comes to the quality of the course. And then he just has a lot more computer wise, I'd say, when it comes to ordering chemicals, fertilizers, meeting with reps and things like that.
Okay. So you're out doing all the work, and he's doing some, but it's just a different type of work.
Yes, correct.
Okay. When you were a senior at Van Buren, what were your plans for after high school?
I had no clue what my plans after high school were. I went to the University of Akron after school for business exploratory for, what did I do? I did 3 semesters there before I kind of took a semester off and ended up finding out that this is what the direction I wanted to go was.
Any reason you originally went to Akron? Was it something, I mean, did they offer a certain program or anything like that?
No, so it wasn't. No, they didn't really have a program. What I wanted to do is just, it was a school on a different part of Ohio I wasn't very familiar with. And so I wanted to try something new. So I went out there for, like I said, 3 semesters, and I realized it really wasn't for me type of thing. And I took that semester off before going to Ohio State ATI in Wooster.
So I saw that you worked at Catawba Island Golf Course before you attended Akron. And then when you finished at Akron, you went to Red Hawk before you started at Ohio State's ATI campus. Did those experiences lead you to want to pursue turfgrass management at ATI, or what was it that truly led you to do that?
Yeah, it was definitely the work. I've spent a lot of time because I golfed in high school and all that. So I'd spent a lot of time on golf courses, but I never really knew anything about the work that went into those courses. And so I worked at Catawba Island Club for a summer. And then, after I kind of decided I was done at Akron, I did a couple years at Red Hawk. And I was waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go to work. Didn't mind waking up that early to go to work every day. So I was like, hey, might as well try to make more than $10 an hour doing this.
Right, right. That's cool. So you ended up at ATI. Are there many other schools that offer turfgrass management?
Um, there are. So obviously ATI has their version of it, and then main campus has a similar program for it, a 4-year instead of the 2-year.
Oh, okay.
Your kind of top in the nation schools are going to be Penn State, Michigan State, Rutgers, but there's small schools all over as well. It's just kind of random. It's definitely not a very common program though.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that was such a Big Ten thing, that so many Big Ten schools had good
Yeah.
programs for that. That's interesting. While you were at ATI, you did some internships. You were down at the Charlotte Country Club in North Carolina. You were at Beachmont Country Club in Northeast Ohio. Did those internships, obviously you got hands-on experience and that's always important. Did you make any connections at those places that led to where you are now at Buffalo Ridge?
So kind of in a roundabout way, I did somewhat. So before I ended up here as an assistant at Buffalo Ridge, I actually did, one of my internships was here at Big Cedar Lodge at Buffalo Ridge. And so the summer, right before I started for that internship out there, one of the assistants that was actually at Charlotte Country Club with me when I interned, he had gotten a superintendent job at one of our other courses out here in Missouri. And so when it came to me getting the assistant job, he played a big part in being able to communicate to our, at the time, director of agronomy that, hey, this guy's solid and he'd be an awesome addition to the team.
Right. So him, you knew him before and then he moved on and became a superintendent. What's the typical career path look like? Is it you spend 5 years as an assistant and then you become a superintendent? Is there anything beyond superintendent? What's that look like?
So when it comes to beyond superintendent, there's always a lot of places have that director of agronomy role, which is, so I kind of mentioned how the superintendent kind of steps away from the course a little bit. And then that director of agronomy, maybe one more step away from the course type of thing.
Okay.
And the career path wise, it can vary a lot just because there's so many. When it comes to golf courses and how they're set up, it varies a lot from, you got like your Shady Grove, it's very low end budget golf course where there's not a whole lot going into that, to where there's places where the budget for the agronomy department is going to be over $2 million to spend.
Wow.
So it vary career path wise. And obviously if you're going towards that higher end, it's going to take you a little bit more time to work up to that superintendent role as opposed to at the lower end type of settings. And then also just knowing the correct people in this industry also helps a lot.
Yeah,
that's many industries.
Right. That's very important. So with education, does a person absolutely have to have that bachelor's degree, or is it more get some education, get into the field, start getting experience, and experience could take a person just as far as the education might, or is the education truly that important?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that education is super important. The way I kind of looked at it was I used going to school for this it just helped me get my foot in the door type of thing. And then once you're there, you're able to kind of build your reference list type of things and all that. I would suggest going to school for anybody, because it just helps kind of broaden what all goes into it. Because like going to school for turf, it wasn't just golf courses per se. It was, sports, athletic fields, and then even just like the business side of things when it comes to research or even selling products for your chemicals and fertilizers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of science involved that I never even consider. And like you said, you're thinking about how much moisture is there in the ground, how soft the greens are, all of that, and then you have to deal with Mother Nature if she decides
Mm-hmm.
to downpour and so forth. So yeah, there's definitely a lot there. You've been out at Buffalo Ridge for almost 2 years. What do you feel like is the most rewarding aspect of this career?
It's You can see the results day to day of what you have going on. Whether I can make a mistake when it comes to that moisture levels, and I can watch the greens die that afternoon. When you're cutting grass below at a certain amount, you're riding a fine line between life and death. And then it's just,
Right.
Especially at a resort style setting where reviews are from our golfers are a very big deal type of thing. And so, yeah, you can see the product that you guys are doing when it comes to quality of work you guys are doing, and whether you got guys that are relaxing too much out there and not getting enough done, and they're skipping trees that might need weed eated around or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I guess I didn't really. Yeah, you are obviously, you're like you said, you're growing the grass. I like how you said that it's a fine line between life or death when that grass
Mm-hmm.
is that short. But yeah, you are truly trying to impress your customers, and if you do, that's going to you know lead to more business, and if you don't, that's obviously potentially going to lead to problems. So that's very interesting. How much of a role you play in that with working with the turf? People that are successful in a career like this, what kind of people are those?
Yeah, so like that work ethic is really just where you're making that first impression when it comes to the people you're starting to work with, and when it comes to whether you get an opportunity where you're at or somewhere else to make advancements and things like that. So it's just making that good first impression. Work ethic making it a big deal, and whether you go to that next guy and you're working for him next, and if you lower your work ethic quality and everything like that, then all of a sudden this guy's just going to go, that this isn't what I was looking for, and move on, try to find somebody else, go to the next guy.
People that you graduated from ATI with, are most of them working at golf courses, or do you have people that that are working for sports teams, things like that?
Yeah, so good majority end up in golf courses or on golf courses. But we do have, I want to say there's one guy, he's working for the professional soccer team down in Cincinnati now, doing something for them. And then a few other guys that just working for these companies that sell products and do research when it
Okay.
comes to growing the grass.
So there are options. I didn't even think about those types of businesses that with the fertilizers and irrigation systems, how they need people with that knowledge also. So yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of options there. What would you say the biggest difference is between living in Missouri and living in Ohio?
We definitely get when it comes to the summertime, I would say, or weather-wise, it gets a little more intense with the heat than Ohio would. And then I would say Ohio gets that intensity in the winter time
Okay.
type thing. Like it can get cold here, but it'll be for a week and then it warms back up
Right.
type
Right.
setting. You get snow for maybe a couple days. And then specifically where I'm here in Missouri in Branson, it's a tourist based town, so come from about the second week of January all the way until whenever schools are starting to do their spring break, or right before schools start to do their spring breaks, we're a ghost town. A lot of businesses are closed for a couple months, and the staffing levels have dropped a lot. And then come spring break, everything opens back up and summertime rolls around and we're a full go here.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that being something like that happening in that town. But yeah, I know obviously it's a lot of tourism involved there. So as we wrap up and you think back, and I realize, you've been out of school for 7 years. So not that long, but enough time to obviously learn some things. What do you feel like you've learned about life or careers that you wish you had known when you were back in high school?
Even in college, I guess it just wasn't really me as a person, but when it came to the effort for school, I just wasn't willing to put into the work and for all that. And I would say, I don't know if it's necessarily a regret or not, but one thing I wish I would have had to put a little more effort into, I guess, when it comes to that. I mean, I guess just patience when it comes to career path wise, because in high school, I didn't know this was even a thing. And I kind of even stumbled upon it, because out of high school, we had a place up on Lake Erie in that Marblehead, Port Clinton area. I was like, I want to go stay up there for the summer and work there. And I applied for 3 different jobs at Catawba Island Club, and they put me on a golf course, and I haven't left yet. So I guess just patience when it comes to it,
Right, right. Well, and I think what you said there about school, just without purpose in going to school, it's tough to
Yeah.
do well. But I'm guessing you did better at ATI than you did at Akron because you had that purpose. You were working toward that thing that you really enjoyed. And like you said, you worked at Red Hawk and get up at 4 a.m. and you didn't mind. And
Yeah.
that's when you really know that you're doing something that, is you see it as valuable and you have that purpose. And that makes it so much easier in all those ways. So, Tre, I really appreciate you sharing your experience, and good luck as you continue on your career journey. And please let us know if there's ever anything we can do to help you out.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for making the Joust About Careers podcast part of your day. I hope you learned valuable information from this career story. And to be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for spending a portion of your day with me. And as always, come back next week to learn even more just about careers.